Shalom Aleichem. Uh, how are you, brothers and sisters? This is again Uriah Baraka. I'm coming again to you with part 2 of the lesson, Power of Compassion. We're going to go to Luke 7. Start with the 12th verse. Let's start with the 12th verse. And it says, "And when he came near the gate of the city, behold, a dead man was being carried out, the only son of his mother. And she was a widow. And a large crowd was from the city was with her. When Yeshua saw her, he had compassion on her and said to her, 'Do not weep.' And he came and touched the open coffin, and those who carried him stood still, and he said, 'Young man, arise.' So he who was dead sat up and began to speak, and he presented him to his mother. Then fear came upon all, and they glorified Elohim." Here we see again that Yeshua saw or understood the need of the woman. He was able to relate to her by understanding her condition of sorrow. And so he said to her, "Do not weep." He wanted to take her sorrow away. But before that, it says that when he saw her, he had compassion. And from that compassion, there was produced an action, a verbalization of his intent. Do not weep. And it says that he came and touched the coffin, open coffin, and told the young man to arise. That compassion first produced a verbal response and then an action that produces a resolve to the problem. This must be perfectly understood. The power of compassion. The power to produce a result, to fulfill a responsibility, comes from Chesid. Chesid, in New Testament terms, is translated grace. And it says in Titus that grace teaches us to deny all unlikeness and worldly lust, that we might live sober, righteous, and like in this present world. So we see that Chesid, grace, compassion, mercy, loyalty, produces a quality and character, a sober mind by which you can see and understand the condition. Righteousness, living within the pattern of divine order according to the commandments. And likeness, the quality of divine love that produces compassion. And I can understand why Brother Saul said we must examine ourselves. We must examine the effects that we have from our behavior. If we're not effecting redemption, then we need to understand that something isn't right within us. When we can look at the destitution of our community, the exploitation of the poor, the exploitation of the masses, the misdirection of the masses from the light of truth to the light of darkness, to the degradation of darkness. We can see our young women acting more like whores than queens, our young men acting more like slaves than men. It seems to me that we would have a concern that produces compassion. But it is obviously the reason is we are not seeing or understanding or accepting the condition that we are in. The Babylonian church has done a great job of bringing down the spirit of the people, misdirecting their spirits to things that are earthly instead of things that are heavenly. They're more concerned with the attainment of the glory of the world than the glory of Yeshua HaMashiach that we are called to obtain. This should be our main pursuit. And in pursuing this, we will purge ourselves, cleanse ourselves from all contamination of darkness until we are tamim, spotless, blameless. And Yah is able to produce that compassion within us. This should be our first purpose when we turn to Yahuwah. But in many cases, because we have been misdirected and we have been given a very unclear definition of spirituality, we, as I said before, cover ourselves with the leaves of knowledge, and from that knowledge produce a righteousness that is akin more to the world than akin to Yahuwah. We who are Messianic Hebrews, we who are Hebrew Israelites, or whatever name you choose to call yourself, must understand that when we turn to Yahuwah, as said before, we are given a responsibility. When we receive the Spirit of Yahuwah, we receive the responsibility of the Spirit. And we turn from the love of the world to fulfill this responsibility. But what is this responsibility? What is Elohim looking for in his people? What actions do he want us to manifest in this world of wickedness and darkness? Well, let's turn to Psalms 82. It says, Elohim standeth in the congregation of the Elohim, the mighty ones. He judges among the mighty ones, or the Elohims. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? In other words, how long will you compromise to the world? How long will you keep one foot in the Bible and one foot in the culture of the world? How long will you clothe yourself with a hypocrisy that gives you the aesthetics of religion, but your behavior is still in tune and in rhythm with the culture of the world? This is what he is asking us today. How long? How long will we continue debating, negating, and minimizing, competing on the basis of a character developed within supremacist culture? How long will we turn away from our brothers and sisters who are in dire need? How long will we stop supporting one another, empowering one another? It's very easy to empower the world. Tyler Perry, I'm sure all of you have supported his work that does not specifically or aggrandize the will of the Father. You've made him a millionaire. You made him rich and famous. And nothing that he has produced brings glory to the Father. But yet you support him from the left foot, the foot that you have in the world, while your right foot is in the Torah. But the responsibility that Yahuwah has given us is shown clear in Psalms 82. He says, defend the poor and fatherless. Defend them. Don't be passive. Get rid of the cliches. Elohim will make a way. If a way is made, it's going to be made by your hands through his power. You see, you are his vessel upon the earth. You are his hands and his feet upon the earth. You are his mouthpiece, ministers of reconciliation, ambassadors of Mashiach. You are that vessel that is supposed to be defending the poor instead of laughing at them. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. You are those who are to make clarifications of what is good and evil, what is just and unjust. When you see the poor being exploited, You're not to join with the antagonists of the supremacist culture to point fingers and to blame them for their poverty. No, this is not what Elohim called you to do. He said, do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Give them justice, rightness, support. So their way can be made, so the way of truth can be made available to them. Bring them out of their affliction. Afflicted man can't see clearly, so we are called to bring them out. Deliver the poor and needy. Free them from the hand of the wicked. From the hand, the power of the wicked. This is what he's telling you to do. Nowhere here do you see where it says to sit back and just wait for this climactic day to come when Yahweh is going to just get rid of all the wicked. No, he told you to deliver the people from the wicked. This is your responsibility. But the reason why it can't be done is because we don't have compassion for the poor and the needy. We don't have compassion for the afflicted. We only have antagonism, minimization, and negations. This is a mentality developed within a supremacist culture, and we need to get rid of it. It is no good. It has no profitability. Self-aggrandizement produces nothing for anyone else. We have an old saying that the success of one means nothing unless it produces the success of all. This is a rule I live by. My own personal success means nothing unless that success can filter out and empower other people to be successful also. Now, not success based upon the standard of this world. Don't get me wrong. All right? I'm not Cleflo Dollar. I'm not teaching people to procure the glory of this world as Satan taught to Yeshua in the wilderness. That was one of his temptations. I'll give you all the glories of the world if you bow down to me, because this glory has been given to me. It's aesthetic glory. It's natural glory. This is not the glory that we are leading people to. There's nothing wrong with having these things. But we must use these things to bring glory to Yahuwah, to deliver the poor and the needy, to rescue the afflicted, to snatch them out of the hands of the wicked. See, this is not passivity. That's slave doctrine. Oh, sweet, low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. I'm not waiting to go home. I'm bringing home to me. I'm going to pray until heaven is planted within me. I'm going to pray until the choirs of heaven sing through me. I am the tabernacle of Elohim upon the earth. You are the tabernacle upon of Elohim upon the earth. We're not trying to get home to him. We're trying to make ourselves a home for him. But we've been misdirected into passivity. We've been misdirected into a selfish culture of life. We've been misdirected in turning away from our elders and turning to the media for our intellectual support. We've been misdirected, and we are in denial of that misdirection. No, if we want the community to rise up, if we want to end the affliction of moral degradation within our community, then we need to bow our knees to Elohim and purify ourselves through the obedience of the truth, so that we might produce a compassion that produces power to heal, to save, and to snatch our people out of the hands of the wicked. This is how this must be done. Take off your religious costumes. Take off your hate doctrines. Cast them to the side and open up your heart to Yahweh Elohim through his Mashiach Yeshua, who is the Savior, King, and the High Priest of all men who call upon the name of Yahuwah. For it is written, whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahuwah shall be saved, delivered, preserved, and healed from the damnation of sin, from the hands of the Rashim. This is what we should be praying for. This is what we should be seeking for. We're too busy trying to prove that Black people were Israelites. This is a fact that need not but to be said once to understand it, and not over and over again redundantly because you have a insecurity about being black, about being an African. You don't even want to be African anymore. You got people teaching now that if you're a Hebrew, you're not an African. And I want to even comment on that foolishness. We need compassion for the people. We need compassion and loyalty to the will of a Father, so that we can, at some point in our history, make a change and effect a change of the condition of our children, of our women, and of our young men that have sunk so low in sin that you can't even see nothing but the top of their heads as they seek in this miry clay of degradation and doom. This is Uriah Baraka. I pray that Yahweh will bless you in peace, love, and mercy, in the seeking of his face, that we might birth compassion for the people and effect healing and resurrection of the people who are trapped in the darkness of this world. Shalom Aleichem.